Testing, testing. Hey, Callie, Alice, ready? Where's your treat? Gotta have a treat ready. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, ready? Yeah.
It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Hi, and welcome back to my show. This is the Northwoods Cooking Show, and I'm your cook, Uncle Roy. And the star of our show, my co-star and assistant, Miss Callie Alice. Come here, Callie. Yeah, here she comes. Yeah! You gotta give her a treat to get her going here. Come over here, turn around. Yeah, say hello, hello, hello. Get over here and say hello. Yeah, it's a pretty. Oh, yeah, look at her. She gets it pretty too. Yeah, with little paws up like little chicken wings. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to be making our first batch of muffins, and these are going to be your blueberry muffins. Now we're going to start out with 3 cups of white flour, all-purpose flour. And you want to make sure you get a knife to level off your ingredients. That's very important. If it's going to throw your recipe off if you have too much. So you want 3 cups of flour. If you just have it mounted up like that and throw it in, that's an extra couple tablespoons of flour. It's going to upset the balance of your recipe. And it will make your muffins tougher and not come out correctly. So you want to make sure you follow your instructions completely exactly and level off those ingredients. So that's 3 cups of flour. And then next we're going to be adding 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Now, one thing I have found out through experience is that if you have a recipe that calls for at least 2 teaspoons of baking powder or soda or the combination thereof, it's going to be a good recipe. Some of them I've come across with only 1 and they're not kind of flat. They're not that great. I found out at least 2 or 3 teaspoons in any recipe is going to be a good recipe. And this one calls for 3 teaspoons of baking powder. So this I know is going to be a good one. 2 and 3. And then we also need a ½ teaspoon of salt. And of course, I always use that kosher salt because it makes your baking product so much nicer. I also happen to take my kosher salt and pour it out of the box into a little container, and I put a cover on, stick this back into the cupboard. Reason being is because when you have the box, you can over pour into your teaspoons because you only need those little amounts. This makes it so much easier. I discovered this when I do my canning at home because I need that for each jar, and it's just so complicated to pour it out of the box. If you fill up a little container, boom, 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 there you go. It's so much easier. So we got the salt in there, and then we need a ½ cup of sugar. And make sure that's level too. We don't want don't want that overflowing either. Because with too much sugar, it's going to make it runny. And we just take a wire whisk and mix these all up together because you want to make sure all these ingredients are incorporated. That baking powder is thoroughly blended with the flour and sugar. That comes out really nice. Okay, and then we're going to do our liquid ingredients. Into this, we're going to take and put in 1 egg. And you need a beaten egg, so we have to mix this up first. It's just that it makes it easier to incorporate into your batter when it's already beaten up like this. That's 1 egg, and then we need a 3/4 cup of milk. And here I thought I had everything all ready to go. So 3/4 cup of milk. 1/2, 1/4, and then we need a ½ cup of melted butter. Now for that, I just take my Pyrex measuring cup, get my stick of butter, And we just put that in the microwave oven for about 50 seconds. Now, one of the important things too about mixing your muffins, your quick breads, is you want to do this by hand and not with a mixer. The mixer is going to toughen up the gluten in the flour. It's going to make your dough much more tougher, harder. It's not going to rise as light and fluffy as you would like it to be. It's not going to be as moist. It's going to get drier. So you want to do, when making quick breads like banana breads, Adiana fruit breads, and in your muffins, you want to do this by hand. Now we got our half cup butter, which is 1 stick of butter. And we'll mix this together really well. In with our milk. An egg. And this is going to go right into our dry ingredients. So just take and make a well in the middle here, which is a hole in the middle of all the powder. And for this, we're going to need our wooden spoon. Make that well. Pour your liquids right in there. And now we want to mix this up by hand. And the important thing is not to over mix this. You want to make it just until it's moist. You want to still have some lumps in there. That's quite all right. You don't want it to be smooth like a pancake batter. Now it's starting to cling here. I'm getting a little bit dryness. See, it's just starting to come up here. It's still moist, a little dry. We don't want to over mix that yet because we still got to add our berries yet. And that's going to be more mixing. So the less mixing you can do, the better. And we're going to need 1 cup of blueberries. And these are those fabulous blueberries that I picked up at the Bauer Berry Farm this last summer, up in Chaplin, Minnesota. So these are homegrown, Minnesota-grown berries. And this is what I made my blueberry jam out of too, that I entered into the fair. We'll see how I get on that. One year I did get a blue ribbon. Ooh. And so these were just right out of the freezer. You wash and clean them, throw them in a Ziploc freezer bag, throw it in the freezer, there's your berries. So now I got blueberries for all year round. I can make blueberry pies, muffins, whatever. Dead of winter with home grown berries. So now we're going to mix this blueberries in with the final mixing of the batter here. And this is all still moist, and we just don't want to over mix it just until all those dry ingredients are not clinging to the bottom of the bowl anymore. There. We don't want to overdo that now. That's the important thing, is to make sure you don't over mix. And now we'll take and grease our cups, our muffin pans. I don't like to use the spray when doing my muffin pans because I only want the bottom. I'm just going to put a little bit on the bottom here and not completely do the sides, just a little bit, just like making quick breads, about a ½ inch from the bottom. Because if you grease all the way up, as the batter rises, there's not going to be anything for it to cling on to. If it's all greased, the batter will be smooth, and when it gets to the top, it just overflows. If it's dry, it has something to cling as it's rising up the sides of the pan. So when it gets to the top, then you get that rounded loaf to it. You don't get a flat muffin. The other thing too, muffins are so tricky in that you got to have everything just perfect. So you don't want to overmix. You want to have them greased just up ½ inch from the bottom, not completely. You also want to make sure that your oven is at the right temperature. We have it at 400 degrees, and that's a preheated oven. So that means it's heating up right now. My oven's already hot at 400 degrees. Because you want to make sure that it's hot when you put your muffins in. And you just want to fill up your cups about 3/4 of the way. I just like using an ice cream scoop. It makes it nice and easy. Gives it well proportioned ingredients. And you just put those right into your cups. And if you happen to have any dough left over, you can just do some more later after this first batch comes out. Or you can get yourself some more pans instead of just having one. That seems to be my problem, is I just don't have enough pans. But I think we're going to have just the exact amount here. And I do. Just fits it perfectly. Now we're going to bake these at that 400-degree oven for about 20 or 25 minutes until a toothpick inserted comes out clean. And we'll check back and see how these look, okay? And these are the finished product of our muffins. Boy, don't those look good, Callie? Notice how nice and lightly golden brown they are, and nice and big and fluffy. You can see the blueberries just oozing out of the muffins. Boy, these are good. We might get a blue ribbon off of these yet, Callie.